It is time to get raw. It is time to get down. It is time for the RAWDOWN, the number one source for all things WWE, right here at the Turnbuckle Tavern. I am your host, Young Anthony of the Titantron. Joined with me, as always, are my two co-hosts. Introducing first, the MVP, Marco of the Chick Foley and Open Mic. Marco, how are you doing?
I am fantastic on this fine backlash eve that we're gonna head into. So yeah, I'm pretty got pretty pumped for the show, not gonna lie.
But I'm not good enough to call backlash.
And we are also joined with the lovable loser himself, J-Bone of Coming Down the Aisle. Buddy, how are you doing?
Well, I'm a creep, and I'm a J-Bone. What the hell am I doing here? I don't belong here. What's up, people?
What's going on? It's the most wonderful time of the year. It's Backlash season. This is the RAWDOWN's WrestleMania. And it's time
Pretty much
for the biggest predictions of the year. No more WrestleMania Backlash. We just get
Wrestle
back to
what?
our roots. We get back to our roots for Backlash. No more WrestleMania Backlash. We have 7 matches to predict. We're gonna split it half and half because we also have some other stuff to talk about in between the show. Yeah, well, unfortunately, we do. Some breakaway topics. Especially a new kind of system that we're doing for the winners. I guess Marco introduced this.
Yeah. There's going to be,
Introduce it, Marco.
I'll say this. So this is going to be specific to Backlash. And you kind of said it already. Backlash is like the RAWDOWN's WrestleMania. So just this one time a year, we're going to do kind of like a tiered winner's circle, if you will. So obviously, if you're the main winner, you beat all the odds, you predicted it correctly, you got the most points, what have you. You're the RAWDOWN champion, which J-Bone is now. So you got to have a runner-up. So I figure for Backlash, since we're always debating who Mr. Backlash is, I think it's only right that the runner-up be titled Mr. Backlash if they come behind the champion. Then for the third and final, which is pretty much the loser of the whole thing, is the what I call the Joey Styles I'm not good enough to call Backlash award. So basically you weren't good enough to call Backlash because you came in dead last. So
Right.
Like I said, this is the one time a year thing just for Backlash specifically. It's not going to be every single pay-per-view.
Oh, baby.
I like it. I mean, I think it's fun. I'm curious to see who's going to be obviously the new Raw champ. Who's going to be Mr. Backlash and who's going to be the one that is not good enough to call Backlash. So
It's probably Young Anthony. So.
Well, he does have the glasses and stuff. He does have the Joey Styles logo and the gimmick.
Oh boy.
So
We have an
that's
internet.
a dead giveaway.
Yeah.
Internet issues, pal.
Walmart connection.
It's not me this time. It'll end up being me. What is it? 8 o'clock by 9:30. We'll kick in with the
Yeah, that AOL disc was going to go out pretty soon.
My lights are flickering.
Hey,
so
lights are flickering too.
Oh God,
My God.
this is not good.
You
Also,
live in a hut or something? God damn, pal.
may the 4th be with everyone, especially you, J-Bone. May the 4th be with you.
Fuck Star Wars.
Oh my
Star
God.
Wars sucks.
It's a great series.
It's a terrible series. Fuck Star Wars.
All right.
I'm more interested in Cinco de Mayo, baby. Tequila.
It's tomorrow.
Well, that's Return of the 5th.
Yeah, that's the Return of the 5th. That's right.
Revenge of the 5th.
God.
Oh, the Revenge of the 5th. Yeah,
No, it's Cinco de Mayo. Okay,
it's
It's-
a 2-day affair. For Star
we
Wars
get
fans.
we get drunk at Casa de la J-Bone Bar and Grill.
That's pretty much every day for you, isn't it? Nevertheless, let's get
Sorry
into
for
these
partying.
Backlash predictions. We're going to start off with 3 matches. Then we're going to take a little bit of a break. And then we're going to talk about the remainder of the show. And I want to get into the United States Championship triple threat match as Austin Theory defends his championship against Bobby Lashley and Bronson Reed. The feud going into this match really seemed to focus more on Bronson Reed and Bobby Lashley. I feel like a lot of people really thought that that was going to be the match. And honestly, you know, I don't know if I would have preferred to see the singles match, but I think it would have showcased just two guys that have been booked relatively well post WrestleMania. You know, Lashley is someone that has been one of the MVPs of the Triple H era, really getting that United States Championship prestige up. And then you have Bronson Reed, who's really kind of coming to his own after Mania, being the runner-up in the Battle Royal and now feuding with Lashley. So to kind of shoehorn Theory in here kind of just shows like maybe there wasn't really much to do for Theory after Mania. Interesting way to go about this. What are our excitement levels for this match? Marco, I'll start with you.
What's on the scale? Excitement level scale, 1 to 5.
I mean, I'm a Bronson Reed fan, and I do like. I did rave about the match that him and Bobby Lashley had a few weeks back on Raw, where they pretty much like ended up in a brawl at the end. So kind of interested to see where this feud goes. I'm trying to remember who did they all get. I know Austin Theory's on SmackDown now.
Correct.
So is Bobby Lashley's on Raw still, right? Or is he on SmackDown?
No, he's on SmackDown.
And Bronson Reed is on
Raw.
Raw. Okay, so yeah, so that that kind of, I want Bobby Lashley to continue the feud with Bronson Reed. So I'm hoping, I'm not giving any predictions on this, but I'm hoping that continues. But obviously, I'm not sure if it will. But I'm excited for it. Watching two hosses go at it, as we like to say. Big meaty men slapping meat is always a plus for me. So. 5.
J-Bone, what are your thoughts?
You're a 5, huh? Wow.
5.
I'm a 5.
I'm at a 1.5.
Oh man.
And I gave that half just to, because there's a lot of other matches.
True.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
Everything's
so I'll give it a. No, I'm gonna stick with a 1.5. Yeah, I think this is just way too predictable. This whole card is pretty predictable.
Yeah. So you think?
Yeah. Well, for the most part.
Yeah.
There's not a whole lot of changes they're going to do on Backlash. Even though that's our
WrestleMania.
WrestleMania.
What are you talking about, bud?
You're right.
Right?
I'm sorry.
It's bigger than Mania, dude.
What?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just not that excited about it, to be honest with you. It is what it is. There's just not enough build to it.
Yeah.
Not to the match in the overall match, not with all three competitors. Yeah, the LESNAR, Lashley, Reed have been, battling, have had a story. I would have probably been more excited if it was just them two, to be honest with you. Like, I don't think there's even need that's honestly throwing Theory in the mix is really the issue for me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, we'll start with you, J-Bone. Who you got for this match?
Well, I'll tell you exactly what's going to go down. So we're picking who's going to take the fall as well.
Yes.
All right. So, my prediction is Austin Theory will win this match. I think Lash is going to hit a spear on Bronson Reed. A prone Theory is going to come back alive, throw Lashley out of the ring real quick, and get the pin on Bronson Reed, and then Lashley and Theory continue their feud over on SmackDown. That's it. That's how it's going to be booked. It's not a prediction; it's a spoiler.
Marco, who do you have?
Yeah, I'm going. Kind of said this on the Chick Foley show too. I think we all agreed that. Actually, no, I don't think we all agreed. I think Seth picked Bronson Reed to win, but no, I think the rest of us picked Austin Theory to retain. Yeah, that's pretty much what's going to happen. I think they're switching it up mainly, obviously, because IC title hasn't been prominent on Raw yet, where Raw is technically like the A show, or the main show anyway, the baby boy of Vince McMahon. I think the IC title staying on Raw. It's not going anywhere. I don't think it's going to flip flop or anything like that. So I think, yeah, Austin Theory's just taking that title back to SmackDown.
So who eats the pin?
Let me see. I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with Bronson Reed taking the pin.
Okay.
I'm gonna make things interesting, and I'm going
There
with
we
Bobby
go.
Lashley
Here we
to.
go.
Ooh, that's a good pick.
I'm going with Lashley. Who takes the pin? No.
Too late.
Yeah, too late.
Too late.
All right, fine.
No, it's not too late.
I know.
No, Theory's gonna win this, and I guess he will end up pinning probably. I'll say Lashley. He'll pin Lashley,
Ooh, there you
and that'll
go.
continue the feud with Reed and Lashley over on Raw. For a split second, I was about to pick Lashley because I thought for some reason that Theory was on Raw. So part of me was like, maybe they'll kind of shoot
Lashley's
him
on
towards...
SmackDown too.
Yeah, Lashley's on. Yeah, Lashley and Theory are on SmackDown.
Right. I thought for a second that Theory was on Raw, and I was going to say maybe he would lose the title so that Theory could be kind of positioned for the World Heavyweight Championship.
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
But like that wouldn't make sense. So last second, I'm going with Lashley. I'm going with Theory to retain. He'll pin Lashley, and I think they'll continue this feud. Probably you could even position, Reed like make him look strong in this, and that's why I wouldn't pin him.
Yeah.
Because he's the only guy on Raw, and he's a Triple H guy. I would imagine that Reed is going to be in contention for the World Heavyweight Championship, not win it. Or you could even do something maybe with Reed in the Intercontinental Championship mix of things. I think there's a lot of stuff that you could do with him, so I wouldn't pin
That'd be
him.
interesting.
Reed and Gunther. Oh my god, dude.
I think there's a lot more that you
That's
could
a
do
I like that.
Brutal.
with Reed. Lashley will have to find his way. I'm sure they'll do something with him. And
I think they need to do a little bit more with Reed's character development. I mean, it's good, but it's a little confusing. Like, is he a heel? Is he babyface? He's very much tweening because, like, when he was on the NXT, like, especially that North American title run. I mean, I enjoyed it, that run. I thought he did really good, and he was like a definite babyface during that run.
yeah,
So, like, I mean, I don't care either way he goes. Just like pick something. Like, I don't like, especially with big guys. It gets way too confusing, and it's just like, how is this story supposed to develop a little bit?
Yeah.
Like, just pick a side. Like, you can sometimes you can do that with like a Theory or, well, not really, but like a Dolph Ziggler, right? You could kind of, they can be a tweener a little bit, and it's okay. But yeah, I just with a Reed, either make him full heel or, or go baby on him. I don't know.
I think that's kind of like the thing with all big dudes like that, like like Bam Bam. He was ever in between. He was either like a full on heel or a full on face. Big Boss Man, not to to plug what they heel, but same thing. He's either full on heel Boss Man or full on face Boss Man. There's no in between. You can't kind of like those guys. You either hate them or really like them.
shout out to the Brocast all the way from Australia. We're talking about Bronson Reed, a fellow Aussies here from the Brocast podcast. Definitely shout them out and check them out when you get the chance after the RAWDOWN, of course. But we're gonna move on to our next match.
One thing, but before we move on, sorry, wanted to bring up one other thing. It's something that just hit me when you talked about Theory not being in that World Heavyweight title championship. Man, he is. That's just basically they've given him the stamp of mid.
Yep.
Because he is not going to be he's not going to be in that Universal title picture. I'm sorry.
Not the that's right, because he's going to be.
So that was kind of an interesting situation, but you could probably say the same thing with Gunther, not as much, right? I mean, Gunther, you could see at some point getting the Universal title shot, but I don't know. It's just an interesting move. Now Gunther, he's in prime spot for that,
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
It's quite interesting how they've kind of laid that out. And honestly, I know people are saying Seth. I'd much rather see it like go to like a Gunther or something. I think it would. Yeah, Seth would get more eyes, but I feel like it's like, oh, okay, well now we got a champ here. I don't know. To me, like putting the strap on Gunther gives it more stability.
I think for a first time winner, I don't think you want to go with a newer dude.
Yeah,
I think you want to go with a notable name, kind of like what they did with like at AEW. They didn't give Kenny Omega the AEW championship.
Fair point.
They gave it to Chris Jericho because he's like more of a established champion. He can like build it to the credibility it needs, and then obviously he'll lose it. But I mean, for what I've seen, just seeing a recent interview with Cody, that I mean, the plan's to fucking topple Roman. I don't even think he has his eyes on that world heavyweight. More recently, he said that the goal is to defeat Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship.
Well, I mean,
so
he'll have to win the Royal Rumble there, pal.
Yeah, true. So I'm kind of curious to see where he lies in this world heavyweight picture, if he even is in it. Who knows?
We'll talk more about the world heavyweight title when we talk about the draft in a little bit. But one last thing about Theory, when you mentioned him being in that mid-card status, I'm looking at the roster on SmackDown here, and really, I couldn't tell you anyone that could really be a threat for Theory at this point. I feel like that's one thing that they didn't really do that strong with this draft.
What
is I don't really see someone that can go up against Theory here. I mean,
let me talk to you. Yeah, come on now.
I mean, okay,
let
fine.
me talk to you.
But these are all heels. Like Grayson Waller's great, LA Knight is great, Karrion Kross is fine. Like a lot of different guys, but they're all heels.
LA Knight's gonna be a face. He's a face. Like his whole attitude, the catchphrases, he can flip. So. I mean, the crowd's already doing the and the LA. Yeah. No, I could see him. I could definitely see Sheamus will probably go after it. Those guys, like you said. I'm not maybe the Street Profits, maybe they'll still do the tag team thing, but they'll still be separate.
AJ
Styles is back there.
Styles, so sure. Okay.
You can kind of build it up still.
Waller? I mean,
Grayson Waller, that's right.
But you could build it up eventually.
Yeah. I'm excited to see Grayson Waller on
Edge
the main roster.
Edge is on SmackDown now, so
Edge, yeah.
You like Edge?
I like Edge.
Yeah.
All right, next match. Bianca Belair defending the Raw Women's title against Io Sky of Damage Control.
Bianca.
Damage Control still going on. Oh, my goodness. Not that it's, again, all of them are great separately, but just putting them together and keeping them together for so long, it's just come to the point, and especially since they've been drafted together. So are we going to see Damage Control continue on? I mean, maybe they'll feud for a little bit if they break up, but how long is that going to go on for? So interesting how they're together, but Bianca's taking this one.
I do think the match is going to be good though, because Io's amazing. Yeah, and Bianca's amazing.
It'll be a good match.
It's gonna be a good match, definitely. We just don't really have to deep dive into who's gonna win.
And I feel bad. This is the second match in a row that we're doing these pay-per-view predictions that we just completely skipped over the Bianca match.
That's their fault. That's WWE's
entirely
fault.
It's entirely the booking fault on this.
It has nothing to do with her because she is a star, but for whatever reason, I'm not gonna say it's getting tired, but I think there needs to be some type of change, like spruce up the gimmick a little bit. I mean, I've been saying it for a while. Let's turn her heel. Mm-hmm. Like let's put some fire behind this. There
just has to be a story with her. There's no story at all.
Yeah,
she's great. She's great in the ring. But they give her no direction at all. Like just go out there and flip your braid and yeah, woo. That's all. That's what I feel like they say. They do. Like, it's just.
I'm looking at her list of competitors. Yeah, the only one that can really beat her is probably Charlotte Flair or Bayley. But other than that, I mean, Asuka too.
That's a whole nother story. The SmackDown Women's division.
Yeah, so you have Bayley, Asuka, Charlotte Flair.
Yikes!
And then after that, it's like Dakota, Io, Zelina, Bishin,
They really gotta.
Isladon.
I don't know what they're doing with the. Again, we'll talk about this when we get to the draft. We're gonna have nothing to talk about mid-show, but Bianca for everyone, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean,
Yeah, 100%. I guess there's nothing. There's no bonus on that one. Yeah. So moving on.
Does Bianca? Does Bianca wave her braid? Does Bianca whip Io Sky with her braid? That could be one of the.
Well, you could do will the title exchange occur at Backlash?
Oh no, I don't think so.
No,
I doubt it.
Do you think there's gonna be a title exchange at all?
I also hate that they split them up too, man.
Or they just
talk about that.
They're just gonna go under the radar. And she's gonna hold a blue title.
I would switch the plates
to
off.
do that. Yeah,
they'll just remove the plate off of that and put another one on that one.
Yeah,
there were rumors that they were gonna change the names of the women's titles altogether, like change the. I don't know if that has any substance to it, but I wouldn't mind that if they kind of just
that's fine.
Like the women's universal
the women's championships instead of making it a SmackDown title and a Raw title.
They should. They should make the SmackDown one a women's, like the women's
universal and then the Raw one the world women's championship.
Yeah, that's much better.
We'll have to see. But one more match before we actually get to the draft because we're all clamoring to talk about it.
Oh baby.
Seth freaking Rollins versus OMOS.
Oh, wow.
Seth freaking Rollins stomping his bald head into the mat.
His giant bald
head. He has how much they care about this match. Didn't even pipe it up on Monday. Did he?
They didn't.
No, they didn't. Yeah.
Oh God.
Not at all.
I completely forgot that. And he was in the main event too against Solo, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. It was a bloodline storyline almost. It was. He confronted Paul Heyman about he pulled out because he pulled all the strings so Roman can run away from Seth Rollins and not face defeat at some point, which is a good storyline to keep going because it's always Roman's reign is always going to be tainted by that one person he couldn't beat, which is Seth Rollins.
Montel is not doing it for his client right now.
He's really not.
No, definitely
Come on,
not.
Montel.
But yeah, no, I mean, they overlooked that whole match. I think it's just gonna, it's gonna be, I don't know.
Something about this is just very, well, not something. Everything about this is very confusing to me. I know Marco, you're very against the whole, oh, Vince isn't here. It's no more Vince. And I agree. I don't think that Vince is really partaking that much in the creative end of things. However, when I see something like this, where it's Seth Rollins and OMOS that they don't hype, they randomly announce it 2 weeks ago on SmackDown. Something just tells me that this match was just put on the show just because.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they're like, it seems like Omos is just being thrown on all of these international shows. I don't know if it's because he has somewhat of a, like he's a presence, people.
He's a spectacle.
Well, it's that, but they're building Rollins towards the more world title. He's clearly going to be in that picture.
Yeah.
Yeah. But so
however they do it.
So then why put Omos against someone that needs to win? This is now going to be another big loss for Omos. He's lost.
It's the Hogan effect, man. It's the Hogan effect. You get Hogan in there pressing that big gassy giant dude. Where the baby face picks up that. I know I'm not saying Rollins is going to do that, but he's gonna take down the giant. And then wow, Rollins is a superhero. Did you see what he did?
Yeah,
he took down the big giant, and then now he's definitely going to be the world champion. Come on, man.
Yeah, but now we're at the point where, and I agree, I think Seth is winning this, but we're at the point where Omos in these big matches, since Triple H has taken charge, he's lost to Braun, he's now lost to Brock, and now he's about to lose to Seth. I'm at the point where it's like, how much can I take Omos as a serious threat?
Well, I was kind of thinking. I'm sorry, Marco. I was kind of thinking before they introduced this world title, like maybe they give one to Omos here. I was thinking like, it'd be a big one and kind of help propel him. But Ain't happening. Go ahead,
No,
Marco.
yeah, I'm starting to realize that Omos isn't like a title contention or like he's not. I'm not saying he's not going to win any championships anytime soon, but I think he's just like the obstacle, essentially, like the guy that you put for someone to beat and make it look like a spectacle. Essentially, that's what it seems like right now. Anyway, that right now that's what his role is. Who knows? It could change later on, but I think they kind of tested him to see like where who put him with these certain people, see what the match looks like. You put him with Braun, that was kind of like that was like a shit show. But you put him in the ring with like a Brock Lesnar, that's going to be able to like obviously make him look strong, make him look a certain way because he treated Braun like a baby. You see that he like pretty much grabbed him, just toss him like he was nothing, that type of stuff. And then you put him in the ring with Seth Rollins, which is, I mean, look what he did for Dominic in Dominic's first match. Like he made Dominic like a star. So he's going to do the same for Omos. He's going to make Omos look like the giant that he is, and he's just going to lose. It's going to be like you're going to try to figure out the way that Seth Rollins is going to do it. That's the thing. Like how his move isn't an easy move to do on a guy that size. So the match is going to be, how is Seth Rollins, the architect, going to get Omos down so he can stomp his head in? That's pretty much what the thing is. And I'm kind of curious to see how they do it, personally.
Quick shout out to Kofi of the Dirty Heels. Just something I'm throwing around here is, Omos has lost so many big matches. It gets to the point where, are we going in a different direction for Omos, or are you going to see more character development for him? And something that you could throw around is, are they going to split MVP away from Omos?
Yeah.
Do you think you think that might happen?
No.
You don't think he gets like frustrated? He's like, you put me in these matches and I'm not, that type of thing.
I don't know if I don't think MVP is looking for a big run. And I'm not trying to throw any shit. I think he's just kind of there to like finish his career. I kind of saw interesting little thing from him. It was he was at the shout out, a couple weeks ago. Mike Belcaster was there. Mattel put this thing on for all the figure influencers and stuff, and MVP was there with Omos, and he mentioned like why he kind of went back. One of the reasons why he went back was he was walking the aisles of Target, and his son was kind of getting old enough where he knew all the wrestlers, right? Here's a John Cena, here's whatever, so and so on. And then he's like, start thinking like, man, like my figure used to be up on these pegs, and it'd be cool to see if my son's reaction. So he's doing it for like, he's not there to like, I don't think he's really there to like, especially now, like to like, hey, I just want to be in the main event scene. I'm going to manage the top guy.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. I think he's just, hey, I'm just trying to finish off my career right now.
Yeah. Leave a legacy or something like that.
Right,
sort of. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I can see that. Yeah. I mean, that makes sense. I mean, he's definitely not going to get in the ring anytime. I mean, he might, who knows? But
I love some MVP, but yeah, I mean, that's another kind of piece of the puzzle a little bit, because he doesn't really get in the ring.
Yeah, no, yeah. Like, is his leg healed? Is he still injured?
Yeah, his body's definitely hurting. So, he did of course he did a lot of wrestling, but he did a lot of stuff before he got into WWE. He wrestled a long time in the Indies.
Yeah.
So
I would love if he did like commentary or something, like put him on the commentary table.
That would be good.
That would be really good.
Good talker, dude. It'd be better than
if
Corey Graves.
Yeah. Yeah. And if Booker, or if maybe Booker decides to hang it up on the NXT, and he's right there in Miami,
Yeah.
True. And he's someone that can get over talent. I mean, he's gotten over Lashley, he's gotten over Omos. I mean, someone perfect to have down in NXT. Kind of just tying it back to Omos. I just really hope that we see something come about this. Like, he's a free agent now, which I think is a really unique way to go about him. So now we're going to see him on Raw and SmackDown. And it makes me think, like, can there be something that more exposure will help Omos? I think it's really going to come down to, we're not going to see Omos as much. So it'll be easier for him to kind of just slot wherever need be on the card. The same thing as Brock. The exact thing that they mentioned for Brock being a free agent is going to appeal to OMOS. Just that, Brock could do whatever he wants to do. It's going to be the same thing for OMOS. It's just whenever there needs to be a big match on a Saudi Arabia show or WrestleMania, he can just go wherever he needs to go and it'll be fine.
Well, what would you say about Von Wagner?
Well, this is a good way to tie into
Von
our
Wagner.
So all of us are going with Seth.
Yeah, but hey, actually, I've got a thought about a bonus question real quick.
Okay.
How many curb stomps will it take to beat OMOS?
Ooh,
That's a good question.
definitely not going to be one. Yeah, that's a good. Oh, damn.
And I will do like closest to gets the point.
Okay. I'll go with 3.
Damn, I'm gonna go 4.
Damn.
You just Price is righted me.
Yeah, that's. I'm gonna go with 3.5. 350. No, I'm joking.
I'm
gonna say.
I'm gonna go 5.
I was gonna say. Damn it! I was gonna go 5. Damn it!
Watch it be 1.
Well, you would get the point.
I would.
It has to be. If it's gonna be 1, it's gonna be on something like the stairs or something hard or something like that. So that they can think of.
Good question though. I wonder how many it'll take to
I like that.
take him down.
What a
But let's get into
great
the draft now. So we'll kind of take this into 3 sections. We'll start with the free agents since we mentioned those because I think this is so bizarre. And then we'll go into both of the Raw and SmackDowns. Free agents. So if I'm not mistaken, all of the free agents are the likes of Von Wagner, OMOS, Brock Lesnar, Dolph Ziggler, Ali. I don't even remember the others.
Shelton, I got it. Yes,
Yeah, I have it too. Yeah.
Right, Shelton and Cedric. You have them?
Yeah, Zion Quinn. Is that how you say it?
Zion Quinn, yeah.
Yeah, Zion Quinn. And I think you named them all. MVP. Baron Corbin was another free agent.
Corbin.
What a great guy.
Here's my prediction on this. If you're not OMOS or Brock Lesnar, you are literally just here to take pins. And it sucks because they couldn't have made it any more clear that guys like Baron Corbin, Dolph Ziggler, Mustafa Ali, these are all guys who have literally just been positioned to lose. However, I do hope they kind of keep up with their name, like, oh, they're a free agent, they could be on any show, don't make it like all of a sudden Ali is showing up on Raw or Corbin's just all of a sudden just showing up more on SmackDown. Like, if you're going to do it, make it that they appear when need be. Like, these are all guys that could put on good matches, yes, but you're just like making it so clear that you have nothing for these guys. I would have rather you drafted these guys, put them on a certain roster instead of have it be, oh, they're free agents. They can appear anywhere. And it's interesting for guys like OMOS and Brock who, anything could happen with them. But the fact that it's guys that you haven't spent time building up, like Ali, like Ziggler, that it's like, why should we care?
You shouldn't. And that's message that they're sending. And it just goes back to a bigger problem. Like I said, like, why are we even doing this brand split? Like, it's ridiculous. It's already going to get mixed mashed and whatever. And you're not going to know who's on what after a little while. And because you're going to see so-and-so is going to appear because they're going to have booking restraints. And I can already see it. Even with these rosters, like SmackDown roster is terrible. It's thin AF. So I don't get it, and especially since this is so thin. Like, throw some of these names over there. Like, fuck it. You want to be a brand split. You don't have a third brand of free agents.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I mean, they have enough. I mean, it's really the women's roster that's thin. It's not really the men's roster from SmackDown.
It's pretty thin.
It is, but I mean, just looking at the list,
Pretty
there's a lot more men
Yeah,
than
no,
there are
I
women.
definitely
And it's a
agree
2-hour
with that.
show. That's the other thing too. So that restrains it right there.
So you have to have like 15 more people because you have an hour long show.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
that's what
I
it
mean,
seems like anyway.
I don't get that. Like, you have to make the roster like twice as big because you have an extra hour. Like, something I will say about Raw specifically, which at least on paper could work out, the Raw roster definitely works for the women's tag team championships. I think there are a lot of women's tag teams that, if they wanted to, and they should, kind of revive those titles a little bit and, you know, make a little bit more of a division. I mean, you have the team from NXT, Kaden and Katana Chance. You have Dana Brooke and Emma, which a lot of people want them to be a team once again, give them something to do. Natalia, you can always throw her with someone, in Ronda and Shayna. So you have some teams. It now just becomes, are they really going to make this title something to be interesting? Because if not, then why are you drafting them to Raw? Another thing that's kind of mind-boggling is, why are the undisputed tag team titles only on Raw?
It's ridiculous. Like,
So there's just no
here?
there's no tag teams at all on SmackDown, because they got both the SmackDown they got both the women's tag team titles and the men's tag team titles. Are we gonna make a new tag team titles now? Like, I don't understand what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, that's
this.
weird. Yeah, because just looking at it, there are other tag teams on SmackDown, so I don't know. That is kind of strange.
The Universal Tag Team Champions.
Again, like, they need to like explain some of these things. Like, you know, obviously they are drafted to Raw, but since they're, you know, the undisputed champions, they have to defend the title. You know, whoever gets a shot. I don't know, unless they make new tag titles for SmackDown. I don't get it. I don't know.
I feel like you kind of have to. Like, that's kind of what I'm expecting them to do next SmackDown.
Is announce it.
Announce both new SmackDown tag team titles,
God.
which I don't agree
Dude,
with that. I think that's ridiculous.
I'm going to be severely pissed if they start doing this shit.
I will too. I was fine with the new World Heavyweight title because to a point it makes sense. However, if they do new tag team titles, I'm going to be pissed, because you have maybe 4 tag teams on SmackDown. It doesn't work. I think they're going to introduce new tag titles. With all that being said, I still think they're going to do it. And I think they're going to give Roman, instead of having the 2 titles, I think it's going to be one solid championship for the Universal title.
I hate that.
I think that's what we're going to get next SmackDown.
Right. I mean, from what I've seen, like on like WWE.com and stuff like that, it seems like that World Heavyweight title, I think we talked about this last week, is the lineage title. So it's kind of like they went through like the different, I forget, I'll have to show you guys a link, but they went through the different name changes, because remember we were talking about how it was called like the WWE Championship at one point. Then it was the WWE World Heavyweight Championship.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, they kept on changing the name. So apparently that title is technically the title, like the one that holds all the lineage and stuff. And then the Universal title is the undisputed Universal title is the Universal Championship. It has nothing to do with the.
So basically, you stripped Roman without stripping it.
Yeah, pretty much. He's going to carry around the 2 belts, and that's going to be technically the undisputed, because he kind of like, you know, engulfed that title into the Universal Championship. So technically, it's one. But I could see what Anthony said. They're probably just going to get rid of the black strap and have him just hold the blue one as the undisputed champion,
or just give him a new title. I was saying just give him a new design altogether, because I mean,
make it a purple one.
Yeah, right.
Ooh, there you go.
Because
you can do
the reason I say that is because the new World Heavyweight title looks like a nice championship. It's not a big W anymore. So, you know, if you're positioning Roman still as your top guy, you don't really want him just holding a big W compared to Seth or Finn or whoever's going to win this World Heavyweight title that has this nice, prestigious looking championship. that's why I'm thinking they'll at least give him a new design, you know, maybe even make it like a custom championship
Yeah, I
that
can
kind
see
of
that.
fits Roman. Because by the looks of it, he's holding this title until WrestleMania 40. So who knows?
Somebody said that on the show.
Yeah, you've said it a few times.
Speaking
of
you
which,
said it.
so you mentioned Cody before. So Cody was the number 1 pick for Raw, and you know there's a report going around that it's already practically been confirmed. WrestleMania 40, we're getting Cody versus Roman 2 for the undisputed Universal title.
Running it back.
And I think honestly that's the best thing that you could do. There is no way, shape, or form that Cody should be winning the World Heavyweight Championship. It does not make sense. It's a complete, just, it would be ridiculous for them to do. I think they know that too. Like, they can't just have him win the title, because I think we mentioned it last week, or maybe I just heard it somewhere. Then it would practically confirm that you were just creating a championship for Cody.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they're smart enough to know that they can't go that direction. So I think what would be smart is if Cody competes for the World Heavyweight title at maybe Night of Champions and loses. Maybe that's your final, Seth versus Cody, and Seth beats Cody for the World Heavyweight Championship.
Yeah,
you know?
that's the part. Get the win back.
Right. So I wouldn't be opposed to that, but Cody can't win this World Heavyweight title by any means.
Yeah, I don't think that was in the plans anyway. I think it was a way for to get Rollins back, because after Cody, when it comes to like fan favorites and obviously Sami Zayn, people are chanting that whoa. I was reading like one of the house shows that they did it for like 10 minutes straight.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, he's definitely winning that championship.
He's a great guy.
Fun fact. Today's what, the 4th? We haven't seen Roman in a month.
A whole month?
Pretty much.
Wow.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
Has he not appeared since the Raw after?
Did he didn't show up on the Raw after me? Actually, no, he did.
No, he did.
He didn't show up on the. He didn't show up on the. I think he was on SmackDown, but then after that Monday Night Raw, that SmackDown, Monday Night Raw, SmackDown, Monday Night, that hasn't showed up since.
Wow.
Which is crazy.
Well, he has been confirmed. Well, not confirmed. I shouldn't say.
Probably won't see him on SmackDown tomorrow night either.
He has been booked for Money in the Bank in London. So, maybe I'm sure we'll see him then.
Now they did, because
perhaps that's to combat the
someone's nipping at the heels on the that's why.
Perhaps it's to booking Roman in London is to combat the recent success that another wrestling company has gotten in London.
Yep.
At Wembley, could go that route.
Good job, Impact Wrestling.
Yeah. Oh man, wow.
Invictus really selling out at Wembley.
That In Bloom show was something else.
In Bloom was a great show. Definitely.
Actually, I missed it. I need to go back and watch it. And I missed
GCW just killing it over in London.
I know.
The GC Dub just killing it over there.
GCW is actually pretty over there.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Yes, they are. Any other thoughts about the draft? I'm looking through the roster at some of these names. Johnny Gargano not getting an actual pick in the draft. Ridiculous. What are they doing with him?
Again, what did J-Bone say way back when?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They killed him. They killed him whenever he debuted. That was
there's nothing for I was reading maybe the NXT group that he was in with Candice, Indy, and I guess Dexter would now be involved in that. That could be something. That's nothing. Like, if you really want to go and make Johnny Gargano into someone again, go him against Gunther. I mean, that's all I could go, and that would be a great match. And we've never seen that before. That would be the only thing that I can see right now that could save Johnny Gargano.
I feel
Stop
like
with the comedy stuff. Just let him be Johnny Wrestling. You call him that, and you make him into Johnny Entertainment.
I
Yeah,
feel like
Johnny's-
I feel like there's
yeah.
like he's in a holding pattern for Ciampa.
I think so.
too. Yeah.
They're gonna bring back DIY.
Which is also ridiculous. Like
It
I
is.
do like DIY, and I'm sure they're gonna do wonders when they're back together. But like, you're really holding off on Johnny Gargano for this whole time, making him lose to all these wrestlers just
Yeah.
because we're waiting for Ciampa to come back. Like, you could be doing something to build up his credibility a little bit. They were doing it with Ciampa when he was on the main roster. He fought for the United States title. He was wearing the Harley race robe and everything. Like, there's nothing you could do with him. It's ridiculous.
He's not a great guy.
He's Johnny Sports Entertainment now. He's not Johnny Wrestling anymore. That's why.
Yeah. Anything else pop out about the draft?
It sucked ass. It was a waste of time.
God damn, pal. Still need to see where certain other wrestlers get drafted in the future. Bray Wyatt, Alexa Bliss, Randy Orton, some other guys that haven't been drafted yet.
Wait,
so-
hold on. Bray Wyatt has just been drafted to Impact Wrestling.
Yeah, because that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, Alexa Bliss was on there. Yeah, a lot of. Well, the funny thing, yeah, Becky Lynch got drafted too. She hasn't been on TV in a while either, which is
It
pretty
makes
strange.
absolutely no sense.
Trish Stratus got drafted of all people.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
What the fuck are we doing?
Thank you, Trish. That's what we have to say now.
Thank you, Trish.
Yeah.
So it looks like Trish will be on TV for definitely probably till SummerSlam.
I mean, if you hate that, I mean,
I don't hate it. I
that's a
don't
you
hate it.
problem.
It's just a. Actually, I love it.
Yeah, no, exactly. You can't. There's nothing bad you can say about Trish being
She's
on
a
TV.
great gal.
She's a great guy.
No, but I just don't understand it. Like, I don't know. Whatever. It's just I've stopped trying to make sense of it.
It's
Just let it
wrestling.
be.
Yeah, just
You
watch
know,
it.
In about a
That's
month,
what-
we're gonna forget about it, and we're
Yeah,
it's just gonna
100%.
be back to normal. So, by the way, speaking of Bray Wyatt, apparently he has been assigned a new writer. So someone is going to be writing, I guess, specifically for Bray Wyatt.
Hopefully, they're not in the writers' Guild Screen Guild Award.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's right.
God.
They're on strike right now, right? No writer for
The Writers
wait,
Union,
what
whatever
was
it's
that?
called.
This just in. No writer for Bray Wyatt right now because of the.
Well,
the
maybe
strike
that's why.
happening.
Maybe that's why Bray hasn't been around, because I mean, he does write all of his own storylines. You know, he has a creative
maybe he's on
mind.
strike.
Maybe he's on strike. Yeah,
That's true. That's you might be right about that. I'll take
Who
it.
knows? Who knows?
Yeah, and picking up that pencil's hard work, man.
Yeah, it is.
Picking up that pencil's hard work, man.
Nevertheless, nothing else on the draft. Let's get back into the Backlash predictions, as we're going to jump into a big match on the card, depending on who you ask. The Bloodline versus Matt Riddle, Kevin
Don't
Owens,
ask me.
and Sami Zayn.
Yeah, we know his stance. We know his. We know.
I'm sure we all share in this sentiment. This is probably the weakest period of the Bloodline that we've seen
Oh yeah.
so far.
Yep.
Probably because of the lack of Roman. I mean,
I'm telling you, it's
you haven't seen him for this long, and they have been continuing to tell story with the Usos and Paul. Solo's getting more in the mix of things, but like every show, this is ending. It's some variation of Solo versus Matt Riddle, or Jay versus a tag team guy, or it's every main event.
That's the Vince sprinkle there.
You think so?
God, Vince used to do that all the time. You know, like, and I'll be honest, AEW's kind of doing it right now with the 4 pillars. But you know, yeah, let's do every variation possible that we could do to make this tired.
That's a good point.
You know,
That is definitely, Vince-ism.
that's a Vince
Yeah.
book.
But that's my thing, is why does it have to be in the main event of
So-
every show? I'm not just talking about just Raw or just SmackDown. It's every show. It's like we're at the point where if this doesn't main event the show, then there's no reason to put the Bloodline in every main event
Yes.
of Raw and SmackDown.
It's the Bloodline.
Yeah,
Well, and it has to do. I think it kind of has to do with a little bit with my picks. But go ahead, Marco.
I don't know. I mean, you say Vince-isms, but for me, obviously they're, Jay and Jimmy are main eventers. For some reason, I don't see Vince seeing them as a main event person.
No,
like
no,
if
no.
they have to be, if they're going to be a main event, they're the Usos in the main event, not Jimmy main eventing SmackDown. Like I don't see Vince McMahon doing that.
I'm not talking about them being in the main event. I'm just talking about the different variations.
Oh, okay.
Like just like Riddle versus Solo, Riddle versus Jay.
And
I think that's
that,
all right. So I think that's the Vince probably part, and then the main event part is probably Triple H, because I don't see Vince McMahon putting Jimmy Uso in a main event.
Like I said, it's just sprinkle. It's just he's like,
not that Jimmy Uso's bad.
I need some
maybe
salt
Jay.
steak.
Yeah, maybe Jay. I mean, obviously main event Jay. He got that name for a reason. But I just don't see Vince McMahon go, that goddamn that Jimmy Uso's great. I'm gonna main event him all. I just don't see it. I don't know.
Should we get into predictions on this one? Who do we got? Marco.
Do we have a fall for this one or no?
Oh, do we have a
Yeah.
Who's taking the fall or who's
Okay. Who's taking well, we could do both.
Right.
Who pins who?
Who pins who, yeah.
We were kind of at odds on this one too for the Chick Foley show. Some of us think the Bloodline's in a win. Some of us think the other team's in a win.
Mm-hmm.
This is, I will say, at first I was not interested in this, but the past week or two, it's been getting interesting.
Yeah, because of the storyline with Solo. What is he going to do? Are the Usos, are the island of relevancy? Are they in the ocean of obscurity, as Paul Heyman put it? Man. Just to make the storyline go, I'm going to say the Bloodline loses.
Whoa. Oops. Sorry.
I'm going to say, because Solo's in the match, obviously, I'm going to say one of the Usos gets pinned, probably Jimmy. And then you get Roman the next week, pretty much fed up with them losing every week and now bringing Solo into it. And him going, Solo didn't get pinned. You're the ones that got pinned. He didn't lose a match. I can already automatically see it. The other way around, you could say, they win and they're like, hey, we won a match. And then Roman just like, whatever, I don't care. If you guys won a match, you already lost like multiple times. You can go either way. I'm going to go with them losing.
Okay, who pins who?
I'm going to go with KO pinning Jimmy.
Okay.
I'll go next on this, and I'm going to tell you exactly how this is going to go. I'm going to book the Fed.
Here we
Ready?
go.
I've got the baby faces winning this. I'm going to go with Riddle pinning Jimmy. And I think you just need to have the good guys win. This is Riddle's first pay-per-view match back. I think this is where you can kind of maybe start to separate KO and Sami from the Usos, start to go their own ways, let them do their own things for once after being such closely associated since, the road to Mania. So let Riddle, KO, and Sami win. And then, they kind of have to because they're on separate brands now. So I think that's going to end this feud. Roman's going to be appearing on SmackDown, the SmackDown after Backlash. You build it as Roman Reigns has been summoned from the island of relevancy to confront the rest of the bloodline after a huge loss. He's going to show up. He's going to get his new custom-made Universal Championship. And he's going to get his new title. And then he's going to confront the Usos about obviously losing. That same night, we're going to get the announcement of the new SmackDown Tag Team Championships. Roman's going to demand that the Usos win these tag team titles at Night of Champions. It's going to be the Usos versus the OC. The OC is going to beat the Usos, and that's where we start to see the crumbling of the bloodline.
Huh.
Book the Fed. There you go.
It's okay.
Okay. I like that.
Hey, you're a good hand. You're a good kid.
You're good.
A good hand. It's set in stone. I mean,
Well, it's setting something.
you got to break the bloodline up eventually. Roman versus Jay is bound to happen at SummerSlam.
Mm-hmm.
This is how you start it.
Yeah, Solo and Jimmy going at it.
Sure. Make it a tournament. Winner faces winner.
Yeah, because I was trying to think of like how they're gonna do it with, obviously Sammy not being able to defend at Night of Champions, and the only way you could do that is create new championships, like you said, if they're gonna go that route. So yeah, it makes sense.
Yep.
I'm gonna go a little bit different.
Uh-oh.
This could be the turning point here, potentially. I am gonna say that Solo SIKOA will pin Sami Zayn.
Oof. I mean, I could see it.
Just because Sammy's been this thorn in the side. It won't hurt Sammy. It won't hurt anybody to lose. And I would say Riddle, but you don't want to put that on Riddle because he, like you said, he is coming back.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't hurt Sammy. Doesn't hurt KO if they either one of those hit it. But Sammy's like the guy, right? Who's been the thorn in the side, major thorn, right? Because without Sammy leaving the bloodline, the Usos still have their tag titles, right?
Yep.
Basically.
Get rid of the Sami Zayn problem.
Yeah. So, and I think they can use that leverage for Roman to say, I had to put Solo in there with you for y'all to even win a match. And I think the bloodline need, they need a dubs right here. And I think it, good feature, get a dubs back here. They've lost 2 in a row. You don't want to kind of be cautious with the bloodline. You don't want to have them losing every match. So I know it's win and loss don't matter, but if you're looking at the story, you want to be cautious with it. So I got bloodline winning, and it's gonna be Solo on Sammy. So
I like it. I could get behind that. Let's go into the next match. Women's SmackDown Women's Championship. Rhea Ripley defends against Zelina Vega. I'm excited for this match. I think it'll be a fun one. Just a nice defense for Rhea here. I think we all got Rhea, right?
yeah.
Kind of hard not. Oh,
No,
Marco.
joking. No, I'm
Okay.
joking.
Wow.
I'm not that crazy.
Whoa.
There's a title on the line. All right.
I was about to say.
It would be a good match. It'll be a good showing for Zelina.
Yeah, it will be.
in front of the fam and stuff like that, fam and friends.
Yeah. Be a good match.
Oh yeah, that's right. She is from. That's cool. Yeah, she's from Puerto Rico, isn't she? That's cool.
Still don't know why she's getting this match if she hasn't done anything to.
She's a good
earn
kid,
it, pal.
She's a good kid.
Good hand.
Good hand.
Yeah.
Good hand.
No, it'll be cool. You get in. Real quick, we didn't talk about this. I'm pretty pissed off. LWO and Judgment Day are separated. And I know it's gonna be difficult, but really, I guess you're separating Dom and Ray. There's so much more story to retell there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Do you think they'll do a rematch? They're kind of doing the same thing that they did originally with Ray and Dom, like separating them for a little bit, so that when they come back together, the match will be that much fresh. Maybe they do it at either probably not SummerSlam, but maybe even WrestleMania. That's Ray's retirement match.
Hair versus mask, like you wanted.
Yeah, I mean, might as well, right?
Yeah.
Apparently, there's also rumors that they're going to add in another member to Judgment Day.
Oh, he's a great guy.
Any predictions on who that's going to be if they do add a fifth member?
Huh.
Let me look at the roster here.
It's on SmackDown, right? They're on SmackDown, right?
No,
they're
they're on
Raw.
they're on Raw.
Oh, that's
Kyle.
right. They're on Raw. That's right. Because Rhea Ripley they all got drafted to Raw.
I think one of the prime candidates is JD McDonough.
Oh,
like
JD McDonough. Yeah.
I just saw that name. Yep, I like
But I
that.
kind of hope not. I understand like JD is I think the protege of Finn, but like I don't know.
Yeah, I can see.
Let him do his own thing. Like don't loop him into the whole Judgment Day thing. I'm fine with just 4 people. I understand if you want to throw someone in to kind of freshen it up a little bit.
Who is Odyssey Jones?
He's on NXT.
Yeah.
Oh,
He
that's
got
why.
called up.
He's like a there was like he's kind of compared to like Mark Henry almost. He has,
Keith
like,
Lee
that.
more. He has
Keith Lee,
that kind of athleticism.
So is someone about to get their wig split?
Somebody gonna get their ass licked.
Oh,
That's what it actually says. You do that.
I like that version better.
Somebody about to get their ass licked. Now, when you hear that song, you're gonna think of those words. You're welcome.
yeah.
I hope not. You know, I'm looking at this roster. You know who could be a new member of Judgment Day? Veer Mahan.
Oh God.
Let's throw him in there.
No, he's part of what do they call in the
Induced
share,
hair.
right?
Mhm.
I actually it would be cool though, like, but no makeup, like just take him like straight badass, like wearing a suit, pony, have his hair in a ponytail. I could see it.
I could get behind that.
Yeah.
I could get, but he's got to be serious,
Ginger's
Yeah.
got to come out on the motorcycle. That's the only that if they're gonna bring back Jinder Mahal,
Nah, we
Bring
can
back his
we can
motorcycle,
hinder
baby.
the gender. We just want Veer.
Hinder the gender.
I would like some suited Veer and what's the other guy's name?
Shanky?
No, Shanky he's not involved in this one. Oh, Sangha.
Sangha.
What would you think of
Put him in
Shanky
suits, pal.
what would you think of a Drew
don't know what Shanky is.
McIntyre addition to Judgment Day?
Nah,
No,
No.
turn him
He's-
heel.
he's yeah.
I think he needs a change.
Where's Drew? He's on Raw.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's on Raw. I think he needs a change.
he does need a
over.
change, but
Could he be the first world heavyweight champion?
he could be.
Ooh, that's a possibility too. Yeah, he could return
be.
and
I mean, if they want to keep him from letting his contract expire, I mean,
well, you
there
Or-
you go, Drew.
Or if he's not the champion, his contract will be expired.
Well, hey, look, I mean, we're going into London. He still hasn't had that UK moment. I don't think he'll win the title at Money in the Bank, but maybe walking into Money in the Bank as champion, winning it at Night of
cool.
Champions, could be something there. Who knows?
He's a good kid.
Probably not, but whatever. So what match are we talking about? Oh, Rhea and Zelina.
yeah,
Rhea wins.
Rhea wins.
Moving on.
Squash match. No,
I do think if they wanted to, they positioned Zelina on SmackDown in a way that she could be looked at as more of a threat.
Yeah,
Like she's one of the more like top people on SmackDown. Not saying much because of the way that the roster's looking, but with her in the LWO now and kind of looping Ray in with all of this,
yeah.
you could kind of build her up in the women's division a
The
bit. so-
LWO is over, brother.
They are, and they're not getting wins. They need some win. I think, if anything, the draft is going to help out in getting the LWO some wins.
I think for like 3 weeks in a row, they're top merch getter or something like that.
Yeah, they're killing it right now.
Yeah.
And their themes bang. It
I
bangs.
wonder how that works though. Like, does the LWO like royalties? Does that go to them or to Eddie, or they have to split it?
Ask Chavo.
Yeah. Oh baby. Oh, Chavo.
Dun, dun, dun.
Well, LWO was WCW. I mean, WWE owns all of
WCW.
WCW, so
Yeah.
I doubt it would go to Eddie.
Well, he's the
Right?
one that created it technically in WCW.
Did he actually like create it? Like, does he own it, or
Yes.
is it
Oh,
like
no,
a writer
no.
created it
No,
and
it was.
put Eddie in charge
really-
of it?
I hate to say this like this, but it really wasn't like a serious thing at the time. You know,
Yeah.
it was just like I'd say it wasn't serious. It wasn't. I'm sure Eddie took it serious, but like it wasn't presented seriously because Eric Bischoff was Eric Bischoff, and it was just going to show NWO, Sting, Goldberg. You know, just jam that through. Oh, LWO. Okay, hey, you're a good kid.
yeah. It was just like a hair. Here you go.
Yeah.
Have this.
El Dandy was in there. Okay,
Have fun with this.
Who are you to soil the name of El Dandy? Regardless, we'll move on to our next match here.
Main event.
Well, we got two main events, pal.
two main events.
Hold your
pal.
roll.
Oh yeah.
And we're going to
Well,
start with the second most important main event.
We know what the real main event is, though.
The second most important main event, Cody Rhodes versus Brock Lesnar in a good old-fashioned knockout, drag 'em out brawl. The Brocker Taker, as people have called him. It's going to be a good match. I will start off the predictions this time around.
This
And
one's hard.
And I'm going Brock. It wasn't hard for me whatsoever. If you're going to do and I talked about this last week, if you're going to do Cody versus Roman, you've got to run the gauntlet with Cody. He has to take a lot of big losses, and you know, maybe this is an official prediction. I wouldn't be surprised if Brock just squashed Cody. SummerSlam 2014, John Cena completely just wrecked Cody Rhodes. You want Cody to be built up as this babyface. You know, the biggest critique coming out of WrestleMania was, well, you know, it makes sense for Cody not to win the world title because he hasn't really taken some loss. You know, he needs that loss to kind of triumph and overcome. Biggest loss that you can get is just getting your ass handed to you by Brock Lesnar.
See, when they say like he has to overcome obstacles, it doesn't necessarily mean he has to lose. He just has to, have those matches and get that, get the fans behind him. Have that like, get the credibility that he needs to do it. He doesn't have to technically lose the matches because he can completely get squashed and get a roll up pin and sneak a win from Brock Lesnar.
True,
by the skin
but
of his teeth.
If you have Cody start winning now, then it kind of sets you up for a SummerSlam Roman match, which I don't think is in the books. I don't think you can do that at this point.
Yeah.
You need him to lose so that you can eventually start kind of building back up to those wins. You know, I don't think you get a cheap win over Brock here. But
so, Marco, where are you going with?
Why don't you go next?
Well, I'm actually agreeing with young Anthony.
Oh,
And I think this match, Brock is just gonna he's just gonna torture Cody all summer long. I think Cody potentially he'll lose the Money in the Bank. He'll get so close. You'll hear the whatever the whatever.
yeah, that's the noise.
That's Sable's music. My bad. Are you boys ready for the grind?
People said it. Brock's gonna come out and do Sable's gimmick. He's gonna have handprints on his chest.
That's got to be a shirt.
Are you boys ready for the grind? Are you boys ready for the F5?
Are you boys ready for the RAWDOWN?
That's the new intro.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so he's just gonna torture him. You're gonna hear that music. He's gonna get so close to the Money in the Bank briefcase, and he's just gonna F5 him off the ladder, do or suplex him, whatever, and be it. And then somebody else will win, probably Logan Paul. But anyways, yeah, I think that's what we're gonna see. He's just gonna torture Cody all summer long until SummerSlam, and then that's when Cody will get his dubs back.
They would never do it, but SummerSlam, Brock and Cody in a dog collar match.
Oh baby, now we're talking.
Come on.
Now we're
Or
fucking
dog
talking.
food.
Give me what I
Food
want.
match?
Dog food match, yeah.
Like
that's what-
like Corbin and
Kennel
Roman.
from Hell match. Yeah.
Yeah. Pepper will be.
I enjoy destroying lives.
Yeah, we went back and forth on this too. No, I don't think we actually, we kind of went back and forth on this on the Chick Foley show because Sheena was under the impression that if Cody loses, that's it, downward spiral,
No.
all credibility. You can't lose-
Sheena does not like Cody.
Opposite.
I know. Neither does Seth. I mean,
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
they hate Cody. But at the same time, it's like, does Brock need to win? No. Does he need to beat Cody?
If anything,
Yeah.
Cody needs to lose.
Yeah, no, that's what I was getting to.
Right.
Like,
Right.
Brock doesn't need to win, but at the same time, Cody needs the adversity,
Yeah.
like you said. But in my terms, I always say like the adversity part doesn't mean he has to like completely come up as a failure every single opportunity that gets handed to him. He could like
He'll just
he,
back.
he could like he doesn't have to pretty much lose every single match to be like
No.
because then you're like, holy shit, they're just burying this dude if he's going to lose every single match that he has. But at the same time, I mean, losing to like his back-to-back losses would be to Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar,
Right.
which is not bad at all. It's not like he lost back-to-back to fucking like Otis and and like
Hey.
Pierre and
Hey,
And,
I won't let you tear down the
and
good name of Otis.
he's not losing back-to-back to Baron Corbin
There we go.
and all
right,
this
now we're
stuff, or
talking.
Otis again. In any form or fashion. But yeah. With that being said, I even said this on the show. I'm the biggest Cody fan. I think he gets his ass kicked. I think he
Yeah.
just.
Oh, he's
I don't
definitely
think-
gonna get his ass.
I don't think. See, I'm not sure. I hope they don't kind of rehash the John Cena squash match. I hope he gets some offense in at least to Brock. But yeah, in the end, it's just gonna be, him, and then probably him going like unhinged at the end and like maybe beating the shit out of Brock Lesnar in return or something, just so he's not like completely flat on his face, like some type of baby face, ramp up at the end. But yeah,
I also
I-
have Brock.
that'd be funny
on
if we're
this-
all wrong.
So who do you have, Marco?
Brock Lesnar, he's gonna,
Okay.
yeah, he's gonna beat the shit out of. But I don't think it's gonna be a squash like you guys think it is. I think it's gonna be an actual match.
Well, it's gonna be an actual match, but I think
Yeah.
he's just gonna at some point Brock is just gonna bring him to Suplex City, and it's gonna be like a TKO situation.
Like beat him till he can't.
Like he's just gonna be knocked out, knocked the
Yeah.
fuck out.
They'll probably have a last,
knocked the fuck out.
they'll probably have another match. It'll be a last man standing match or like some shit like that.
Yeah, so same old.
Yeah, it'll be a
Sa-
trilogy.
Stable will be in a shark cage, something like that.
It is now time for the grind match.
They'll do a mixed tag match with Brandy and Sable.
Now we're talking. Now we're
Yeah.
talking. Who the hell told you it was open mic night? Who the hell told you it was time for the grind?
Who the Oh.
Oh man. Last match, main event. I mean, this is probably going to be the main event. And this is also why I picked Brock to win, because I don't think you would have Cody getting beat down and, TKO'd or whatever it may be as the main segment, as the main event
exactly.
segment.
Yep.
I think you end the show on a positive note. Bad Bunny versus Damian Priest in a San Juan street fight. The irresistible force meeting the immovable object. This is going to be fun. I was reading
I think so.
earlier today that the original plans for Bad Bunny was to do the tag team match of Bad Bunny and RHEA versus Damian and Dominic.
I'm so happy they didn't do that.
And
I'm glad
the
too.
finish would have been Bad Bunny pinning Dominic. But the reason why they didn't is because both WWE and Bad Bunny both had faith in Bad Bunny pulling off a singles match, which I think is really cool. You know, like I feel like if you do another tag team match, and I think we mentioned this last week, it's like how many more tag team matches can you do until you eventually get him that one singles match and just let him go off?
It's perfect. It's a perfect scenario for him.
So I'm very happy about this. And I think once again, we all kind of have Bad Bunny taking this one.
Yeah. So it's going to be a lot of shenanigans. Judgment Day will definitely be in full effect. LWO will show up.
Yeah.
So you'll still get your Rey Mysterio and Dominic and all that.
It'll be a good spot for LWO, kind of putting them in the main event segment, you know, having them celebrate with Bad Bunny at the end of the show.
They're gonna pop for the LWO too.
They're gonna pop for Bad Bunny.
Well, yeah.
I was talking to one of my buddies. He's from Puerto Rico. He was like, because he's a Bad Bunny fan. He doesn't watch wrestling, but obviously he knows who Bad Bunny is. And he was like, I was telling him about it, and he's like, dude, they gotta like that. He's like, it's gonna be crazy there. He's like, they haven't done like an event like that in like I was like 17 years or so. He was like, yeah, it's gonna be a while. That crowd's gonna be on fire pretty much the whole night. So yeah, I'm expecting good things. Another funny thing I seen was someone posted something with Bad Bunny this past Monday. He was at the Met Gala, and if you see the pictures if you know what the Met Gala is, it's like, you know, celebrities dress up in wacky stuff pretty much. But he was there, and so in the caption, someone said, "You see this picture, but you wouldn't second guess or even think that this dude is about to have a San Juan street fight in a few days at the end of the week." The dude's like, he's a legit like A-list celebrity.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's a global superstar, A-list celebrity, like Grammy Award winner, like, and he's in a wrestling match this weekend. That doesn't blow your mind at all that this dude's like a legit like superstar outside of wrestling, like one of the biggest musicians in the world, probably the biggest. That's crazy to me.
I'll tell you. I like a little story. Let's get in the old shoot life. So this past week, I had some visitors from our lab in our corporate offices, and you know, so one of the lab, there was a lab manager and then one of the chemists, and what lab manager, he's a little bit older than me, and the chemist, she's, I would say, like mid-20s or something. But we were sitting down, we were eating lunch, and then like they were playing like some like 90s R&B, the good shit, you know. And so me and the, you know, the other lab manager were like, man, oh yeah, this is our stuff right here. And then, you know, the girl was like, Skid's good. It's a good kid, you know. But she was like, have you ever listened to Bad Bunny? And I'm like, oh yeah.
Oh, he's that
really
wrestler,
I heard the one song, which is the Booker T song.
He's a wrestler, isn't he?
Yeah. Well, I'll definitely drop that. I was like, you know, he wrestles now. She's like, really? I was like, I didn't know that. And apparently, like, there's another girl that works in the lab who's a huge Bad Bunny fan. Like, has followed him like in a couple different cities.
It knows this.
Well, I mean, like, you know, not like stalking, but like,
oh yeah,
but like going,
don't
like,
put her out there like that. Jeez.
Yeah, going to different shows, you know, in different cities. Like, she just enjoys going to the shows.
Yeah,
and they're like, oh, I bet she doesn't know this. I was like, well, you know, J-Bone does. He's a big Bad Bunny fan.
Bad Bunny's like a great guy.
He's a great guy.
A great guy.
Wait till that figure drops, dude. That Bad Bunny elite.
I'm down.
Figure.
I'm gonna buy a Bad Bunny figure.
It's coming. It's supposedly, well, it's not supposedly. When you did that contest when 2K23 came out, it was like if you purchase like one of the figures and you can get like the John Cena character on the game. They had like the list. Right. They gave you like a list of figures that were eligible.
Shown.
And it was on there. Bad Bunny was on there as a list, as one of the.
I'm surprised they didn't reveal that at WrestleMania. That's crazy. Maybe do a little reveal this coming week or something.
Oh, maybe. I don't know.
Something I was gonna say. I lost my train of thought, but yeah, it's gonna be a great match. Yep, gone. It's out. It's
Never coming back.
Yep.
Fuck it.
Oh no, I was gonna say
Oh,
the
it's back.
headbangers are getting figured.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
that was a
I did
yeah.
see
They
that.
signed a Legends deal.
There's some great guys.
That's sick.
Yeah.
That was on my bingo card this year. Was the headbangers getting getting elite figures at some point, or possibly be in the next game.
We
You
need
never
it.
know.
So, how many weapons are going to be used in this match?
Ooh, damn.
We'll do the same thing, like with the number, and then whoever gets closest.
Yeah.
I'll go first.
Yep.
So I went last, and you
Let me see.
motherfuckers stole my answers.
If you're not first, you're last.
I'm gonna go. So it's gonna be different weapons, right? Like, pick up a chair, hit up. If you pick up another chair, that counts. That's 2 weapons.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
I'm gonna go 9 weapons.
Ooh, it's a good number. It's like a solid. Who's going next? Do you want me to go next? Do you want to
Go ahead,
next,
Marco.
Anthony?
We'll go in reverse order this
All
time.
right, let's see. You said 9. I'm gonna go a few less than that. I'm gonna go with lucky number 7. Let's go with 7 weapons.
That's a good number.
Keep the odds. We'll keep the odd numbers. That's what I'm gonna go with.
Yeah. I'll go. You see, do I pick right in the middle, or do I pick? You know what? I'm gonna go with my same strategy as
Price is
before.
right. Do the
I'm
price
going-
is right.
I'm going 6. I don't think we'll see that many weapons introduced. I think it'll be more of like just reusing the weapons. But it'll be a fun match regardless. I think they'll definitely do some fun spots with all of them, which does make me think maybe there will be more than you would usually see. They always do that for like celebrity matches where it's like they'll hide the expert wrestling skill by doing more like weapon action. So I could see it being higher, probably maybe even higher than J-Bone's pick, but I'll go low. We'll see what happens. I'll go with 6 weapons
Okay.
for this Saturday. But with all that out of the way, I think that's pretty much it. Is there any more big predictions that you have for this Saturday, or
Do we see a Kendall Jenner sighting at ringside?
Are they dating or something?
I mean, supposedly that's the rumors.
probably?
And that's
not.
another crazy thing to me. That's why this is so. Like I was sitting back, I was like talking to my wife about this. I'm like, it's so insane to me that this dude is freaking. Like I said, like a legit. It's like almost like Will Smith coming into like WWE and wrestling a match. Like,
He wrestled in the Oscars.
he did actually.
Boxed in
very
the
true.
Oscars.
But it's crazy. Like it's insane. He's out dating Kendall Jenner. He's like freaking. It's just crazy to me. It's insane. I mean, I'm thinking we might see her in the crowd. What do you think? No, probably not. No Kendall sighting. No Kardashians. You don't think we'll see any Kardashians?
She might be in the back and catering. You know?
Yeah, I don't think they would put her out there. Just if they're not confirmed today, or maybe that's how they, confirm that they're dating. Bad Bunny gets a win.
Oh my god!
Brings her in the ring, puts her on her shoulder like
Yeah,
Savage and Elizabeth.
That relationship is going south quick.
Oh, yeah.
Marry me. Now they got to run. She can't make no appearance. They got to run that by Mama Kardashian before that.
Every
happens,
every male wrestling fan knows you got to slowly introduce the wrestling fandom to the significant other.
You do. That's how you do. So I was actually talking about that like a while back. Like if you want to get like a girl into wrestling, you just got to find like someone in wrestling that they can, either like relate to or are attracted by. Like
My wife loves Ray Phoenix. She's a big Ray Phoenix. My wife is a she's definitely for one of those loves the high spots.
Yeah.
Okay.
Likes the
So
moves.
My wife she likes she goes for the looks department. So in the
Same.
bonds. I mean, Drew McIntyre she loves. Don't care.
Roman and Bianca. That's all my girlfriend really cares about. Just Roman and Bianca.
Girlfriend, my wife started looking at Ricochet because he has 1 million abs, which kind of sucks.
He's got a lot of abs.
I have none at all. So
no. You've got some. I've got one.
I've got a half.
I've got one ab, and it goes like this in round shape.
He has like an 18 pack, dude. It's insane. Him and Finn Balor are like,
yeah,
like it's insanity. It's like
it's fake. It's all fake.
It's all it's implants. They have implanted
staged abs.
They got
predetermined abs.
BBL abs.
he just laid down on a hurricane fence, and it looks
BALs, like Brazilian ab lifts.
Implanted himself with a hurricane fence.
They're
all
predetermined abs. Nevertheless, I think it's time we end the show, right?
Hey, yo.
Folks, thank you so much for tuning in to yet another edition of the Raw Down. Marco, let the people know where they can find the Chick Foley Show and Open Mic. You just dropped a new episode.
Oh, you can find the Chick Foley Show, and you can find me running on the Twitter machine, obviously, and you can find Sheena running the Chick Foley IG. But yeah, we did drop a new episode. We do talk some Backlash. We talk about the crowd fund that is ending tomorrow for Mattel, I believe, on Friday, right? Yeah, on the 5th it ends. Yeah, so we talk a little bit about that. Most of the show is mailbag, so we answer a lot of questions. Yeah, it's a fun episode. It's actually really funny. It's actually definitely listen to it. Yeah, open mic. I mean, like I said, I'm working on the return. I think I have everything down. Like I said, I think I'm gonna have my guests, just to give you a preview. Probably the Pod Warriors are gonna be the return guests. Just to delve into their friendship and how they met, because they're lovers and friends. Them two guys, Seth and Jordan. You hear them bickering a lot. That's actually it's really funny. On I'll give you a little preview on the Chick Foley Show. Jordan is not having this Backlash pay-per-view whatsoever. Doesn't want anything to do with it. And then Seth tries to convince him into getting hyped up for it. And it's
I'm on Jordan's side.
Just see what happens. It's pretty funny. You kind of hear Seth's almost disdain. You can hear his just dude, please just be hyped for it. He doesn't say that, but you can kind of hear it in his voice. It's
come
really
on,
funny.
Come on.
You're not really at all. You don't want to. It's funny. But yeah.
Okay, come on.
So excited about that open mic. It's gonna be live. That's what I'm going for. Just an all live open mic session.
We're live,
maybe add some questions to it. So yeah, look forward to it.
J-Bone, what do you have going on?
You can catch me coming down the aislepod.com. This week, I have one half of the guys that started up new figure line, Rush Collectibles.
Nice.
They got Wave 1 coming out, which is Larry Zbyszko, the French Angel, and Roadblock. And
what a trio.
We also discussed, he's also got a horror film line in a retro form. We discussed all about that and discussed all this fandom. And we go ahead and watch the match. This is the match of all matches this week. Lex Luger versus Roadblock. Lex Luger attempts to pick up Roadblock for the torture rack 3 times.
Oh my god, that's great.
He's a big boy. Roadblock is. And then this weekend, sometime, probably actually maybe early part of next week, Miles and I are going to be recording this weekend for sure. But we're going to be doing the list top 10 Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson matches. Happy birthday, Dwayne. Dewey, good old Dewey. That's my boy Dewey. We're pals.
Oh man, a lot of good stuff happening on those channels. A lot of good stuff happening all around the Pod Foundation, especially right here at the Turnbuckle Tavern. And folks, if you like what you heard, and I know that you did, make sure to head on down to theturnbuckletavern.com for all of your Turnbuckle Tavern needs. Listen to all of our podcasts on Apple and Spotify. Watch all of our videos on YouTube. And follow us everywhere we can be found on social media, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, especially over on Discord, where you can join our community. Join the community. And then support our community by giving us your money over at prowrestlingtees.com/tavern, where you will find some amazing t-shirts updated regularly. There's a t-shirt for everyone here at the RAWDOWN, so make sure that you share your support and show your support by wearing our merch. And if this isn't enough for you, you still have time to put it in order for a Mr. Backlash t-shirt. Pro Wrestling Tee, not Pro Wrestling Tees, theturnbuckletavern.com, where you can go to the Teespring website and get the official RAWDOWN logo on a bunch of different merch and get that Mr. Backlash shirt, because even though we're going to find out who's Mr. Backlash from RAWDOWN, we always know it's Mr. Randy Orton himself. Hopefully we'll see a Randy Orton appearance on Backlash. Who knows? Maybe we'll get some little surprise.
Hey, that'd be a perfect time to get the turn. He's
True,
on Backlash.
very
He
true.
is Mr. Backlash.
He is Mr. Backlash after all. And finally, call the tavern. 304-404-2004 is the number to call to hear your message played on the flagship show. Call the tavern and leave us a good old voicemail letting us know what you thought of this week's episode of the RAWDOWN. Give us your predictions on Backlash. Let us know your hype levels. 304-404-2004. That's 304-204-2004. Folks, thank you so much for tuning in to this edition of the RAWDOWN. We're going to see you next week as we break down everything that we saw at Backlash. But until then, as always,
But I'm not good enough to call Backlash.